Biggs, it's up to you. Back
Yeah.
to you, buddy.
Yeah, and I love what Cody Sanchez says about buying boring businesses and like all the things that you mentioned there. I'm like, oh, this
Mhm.
is so smart. I love.
Fantastic.
She's a great follow on social. Um,
Mhm.
so one of the things that you're passionate about is helping entrepreneurial women, right? I'm curious on the more personal side of things, right? You listed, how do I also be a great, mom? How do I avoid this mom guilt? Mike and I were kind of talking, and we support each other. And I was talking about, I don't understand mom guilt. I don't get it. Like, if you're away from your kid, like for the night, you feel bad. Like, it's just me being honest, but I'm trying to support my wife in this, and I can't because I don't understand it. So, like, what are some of the unique challenges that you see women facing, and what do you think they need most right now? What do they need from the men in their lives? Like, help us out, over here on how to support them better.
Yeah, it's so great for you to ask that because it's difficult. Unfortunately, societal norms, right, and societal programming has created a space in our world where women more is expected in terms of the house, whether that might be with the kids, with household things, like whatever needs to happen. And so there are obviously people who have advanced beyond that, but just in terms of societal norms, there's this expectation. And by the way, there are women that they want to do those things. Like I want to make dinner for them. I love when my husband cooks. He's damn great at it. But like I love doing that. But it's like, how do I have to, I'm like, I just want to take a shower. I just want to take a shower. And my, son's like, oh yay, shower. And I'm like, no, by myself. I just want to breathe for a minute. Right. And so creating space, like if you do have a partner, if you happen to have a great partner, and for you guys that are married, hell yeah, being able to say, hey, I'm going to take the kid to the park for a minute, go take a bath, set up a bath, go do this, go like just breathe a little bit, because what's sacrificed a lot is self-care, and it's like a lot of the moms who are top level executives or business owners end up, just going. And it's amazing how much women can do even on empty, like on fumes, but like, can we create space that allows them to recharge a bit? And whether that's going to a women's conference or going to any kind of conference they want to go to just like kind of refill, get reignited, whether it's professionally or personally, creating space for some self-care, like send your woman to the spa to go get a massage or do whatever. Maybe she likes to go hiking, like say, I'm taking the kids, we're going here, you're going away, and one of my good friends, man, I'm always like, heck yeah, dude. He's so good at this. He'll like message his wife's friends, and he like set up, we did like a bingo night. And it was just like really fun, like wine and bingo. He got a table for us. He ordered 3 bottles of wine, charcuterie board. All this was waiting for us when we got there for bingo night. And he's like, I'm taking the kids. And he said, I just want you guys to go have some fun. Like she works so hard and she's always with the girls. I just want her to just breathe and be with her girls. And so like her husband like messaged, there was this like 7 of us that went, took the kids, set it all up. And I was like, how great is this? Like, I don't see enough of that happening.
I'm stealing that right there. That's genius.
How does a mom receive this? So my curiosity is a mom willing to receive the time away, willing to receive the bath time. No, I'm not, because that mom guilt that Andrew said, it's like, no, if I go take care of myself, then I'm not being a good mom. So it's like, no, I can't accept that time away as a massage
when you have the partner or a sister or a loved one, someone that says, I'm taking the kids to do this and you're not allowed to come and you're going here, then you don't feel guilty because they're in good hands. Right. And, the guilt comes from like, I feel like I'm expected to do this. And so if I take time for myself and I'm not doing this, then there's an issue. That's where the mom guilt comes in. Right. But if I know it's fully taken care of by loved ones, so you got to give that certainty. Like,
so the mom needs the certainty from the loved ones to say, I got it. Don't worry about it. And that's how they can receive a little bit better, if I'm hearing this right.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
I want to ask you.
Because it's like, well, why aren't you doing that? Like, I don't know. It helps. And even if the partner or friends, like no one's put that on them. Like I said, society kind of has, and it might be in your subconscious. And when you hear, verbally somebody say, hey, look, this is all under control. Or you come home like dinner's made. We've got this. Like tonight is your night to go read a book for an hour and we're going to go to the park during that hour and you just chill, you know? And if she's like, well, I want to go to the park too, great. But it's like, it's because she wants to, not because she feels she has to do something else on her list and be in 5 places, right? So I think just that giving them permission, but doing it in a way where you create space, like dinner's already made, this is already done, this is already booked, and here's who's taking care of the kids, myself and my sister, or we're going to grandma's, or we're going here, and they know everything's under control. Now I can breathe because I'm not worrying about, well, how about the food, how about, so just creating more space for that, because it is a real thing, and you want to, every mom, like there's I don't know, there's this connection that you have, and I don't want to say every, but most moms, like, you want to spend more time with your kids. You also love that time away, and then also, like, date nights, right? Like, partners, women or men, like partners, like create some fun date nights. Maybe you have like a very entrepreneurial partner, like myself. And so plan stuff, because then it feels like, oh, I have to do everything. I have to plan everything. I have to do everything, So again, taking ownership on taking some things off the plate, without, your wife asking bigs or whatever, like it feels good, and you have that partner by your side who's supporting.
Well,
I love it. Thank you so much. That's
awesome. Before we head for the exits with our 3 final questions, I just wanted to plug your book, Life is a Masterpiece, with Kathy Kristen. If you had to give us a quick, just quick update as far as to like what inspired you to write the book, why would someone want to pick it up?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll ask you our 3 final questions before we head for the exits today. So tell us, why would someone want to pick up this book, or what inspired you to write it?
This really is more of a legacy piece. I planned on nothing more except my great grandkids getting to read it. I'm very grateful that it's been able to bless so many people already and so many families, and I've had some great feedback. But it's really what I learned. I grew up in Cutco Vector, through college, and I was exposed to so much I'd never heard before. I grew up in, it was a 2-bedroom apartment with 6 people in it. We didn't have a whole ton. And I grew up just be grateful for what you have and do the most with what you get. But never think bigger. What do you want? It was almost like a bad thing to want more. It's like, why are you wanting more? You have enough, right? So all of a sudden I'm in the sales company and they're like, what do you want? What do you want to work? I'm like, I just want to take care. No, like if you had everything, like what would you want to do? And just starting to think about those things. And I'd never really been asked, what do you want? Or when I was asked, I would say, well, I don't want this. And they're like, oh, okay. But no one had ever said, but what do you want? Right? Like I was always like, I knew what I didn't want. And it drove me a lot. But I never really sat and thought about, like, what do I want? Like, what does the life of my dreams actually like look like? Right. And so the first time I was exposed to that was, working in Cutco Vector, being exposed to people like Brian Tracy, and Maximum Achievement is one of my favorite books that I think everyone should read. Being exposed to Tony Robbins, right, and John Maxwell, and just starting to learn from these greats in terms of really like tapping into that full potential. And I always knew like I had the ability to do so much, but wasn't really sure like what it looked like. It's like, did I have to be born into that family to be able to do all that? Like, what did that look like? And so for myself, like, in this book really outlines like a lot of what I went through from 19 to 22, and really have gone through with thousands of people over the last 21 years. And it's about, the first third of the book is all about what do you want and why do you want it, and really identifying that. And being okay to like dream big, right? And not feeling bad for wanting more, wanting to do more. And the second half of the second third of the book is really my bread and butter, which is strategy. It's how do we do it? How do we get it? And so it's very strategic with breaking down numbers, breaking things down, putting in calendar. It's what I love to do. I would say for myself, and you asked me this earlier, and I didn't say this, but I would say I'm more of a strategist, a business strategist, business and life strategist. So I love the strategy aspect of how to. Once someone figures out what they want, I had one of my clients actually last week. She said, why don't you do more business? Like, you should work with Tony Robbins. Like, you're so good at all this. And I started laughing. I said, honestly, more of the like, what do you want? Why do you want it? The bigger vision. I said, that's not what I'm most passionate about, but it is very important. I said, where I light up is like, let me show you
Hmm.
how to do it, you know, and like the strategy aspect. So that's the second part of the book. And then the last third is all about like, how do you sustain it, right? Because life happens and derails us sometimes, right? And so how do you sustain it? And just really talking about those like habits, daily habits, energy management, tools, people that you surround yourself with, and stuff that a lot of us have heard, but I think it's packaged in a very easy to digest manner. At the end of each chapter, there's a design exercise, and they build upon each other, and so it's like a blueprint. So when you finish the book, you have this like blueprint, and like, okay, let's go, and really see some movement. And I've had some really great stories I've heard of people who have done that and what got done, since then. And I'm excited for it to impact more.
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like it's really a comprehensive, way to design your life, right? Which is, makes total sense. So we have 3 questions for you. Okay. My first question is, what do you think the world needs most right now?